So far, we've learned three methods for solving quadratics. We've learned about factoring, we've learned the square root method, and we learned the quadratic formula. Remember that when you are factoring, an important thing to do is to always set the problem equal to 0. When you're using the square root method, you need to make sure when you take the square root of both sides that you use plus or minus. And lastly, with the quadratic formula, first off, you have to have the formula memorized, but you also need to set it equal to 0 and identify a, b, and c. A is always in front of x squared, b is always in front of x, and c is always the constant. So now that we've learned the three methods, you're going to need to figure out which one you're going to use. So you should always try factoring first. Get the problem equal to 0 and see if it's factorable. Always start there. If you notice right away there's no linear term, the square root method is a good option also, or you can try it if factoring doesn't work. Remember though, it can only have an x squared and a constant. It can't have like 5x or negative x in it. And for now, our last resort is going to be quadratic formula. We're going to learn another method that you may want to use before or after quadratic formula. But for now, it's our last option. Now go ahead and solve this by factoring. Now, as far as reducing goes, because the 4, the 2, and the 2, all the things that are not under the radical, they're all reducible by 2. So I'm going to reduce all of them by 2. And so my final answer is x equals 2 plus or minus 1 root 15. If one of these three wasn't reducible, I couldn't. So if this 2 was a 3, for example, I would have stopped right there. Solve using the square root method.